Hey, shalom, everyone. My name is Gidon Ariel. Happy to be here in conversation with my friend, Dr. Richard Booker from the Shofar Institute.
Shalom from Texas, from one Lone Star to the next Lone Star.
Yes, we love the Lone Star States. One second. I like the challenge of doing all the technical stuff and being the co-star of the show, but sometimes it gets a little bit hassle.
I
How are
can
you?
see. Oh, I'm blessed to have another day to be alive. Thank you. How about yourself?
Very good, very good. Thank God. I can say the same thing.
What's happening with your world today?
Unfortunately, my assistant is ill,
I'm
so
sorry.
Bezrat Hashem, she'll get better. She'll get better with God's help. And so I had to work without her. That's a little bit tougher. I'm also on a strict diet this week. I'm on my water fast, which means that all I do this week is drink water.
Water is good for you.
Water is good for you, and fasting is also good for you. People know that water is good for you. They don't know that fasting is also good for you. So I'm
That's,
doing it. I'm doing it for weight loss, and I'm losing about 2 pounds a day.
that's very good. When you get older, which you wouldn't know anything about, that gets a little bit harder to do. But you just have to keep focused and motivated.
It ain't so easy at my age either. I'm a member of Facebook groups that have people in their early 20s, and it goes up to I don't know how old the people are, but some people there are incredibly obese. There was one guy there who says that he started out at 700 pounds.
What?
That's scary as heck. But most people they end up losing 10, 20, even 50 pounds. I lost about 80 pounds doing
Or
this.
is it a certain diet your own, or your own diet, or following a diet plan, or what is it?
I'll tell you again. It's called water fasting, which
Okay.
means that I don't eat anything. I
Okay.
only drink water.
I've done that before for 40 days on two different occasions.
Wow. So you must
Yes,
have lost about 80 pounds yourself.
quite a bit. Unfortunately, the last few years, Peggy and I've gained a lot of weight back, but it's a
It's
challenge when you get older.
just like faith, your health is also between you and yours and God.
Very true, very true. But we can influence our own health, of course, by our eating habits and our lifestyle.
Of course. But you have to fight the evil instinct, the evil Yetzer hara, the evil inclination.
Oh, I understand. What we have learned is that when you make a effort, when you're motivated to change your diet, is what you have to do. Once you get processed sugar out of your system, then your body no longer craves it. It's a miracle. Your body wants broccoli. So my mother of blessed memory, if she was with us today, would be so surprised that her son is eating greens.
Right, right. It's
So
okay.
yeah, when I was in high school, I played tackle in football, and I was 200 pounds. Of course, you have to be big to play that position, pretty much. So when I finished my high school football playing days, I stopped chasing quarterbacks and I started chasing girls.
Then you had to lose some weight, I'll bet.
You have to lose weight to catch the girls. So I lost 60 pounds
Wow.
in a very short period of time.
Was that your 40-day fast?
No, that was just just changing my eating habits. My brother had a red suit. I'm telling a story on myself now. This is in the early days of rock and roll in the 50s in America and in the
Uh-huh.
South. And I was a rock and roll singer.
Ooh.
Don't tell
Are you
anybody
on, are
that.
you on, do you have a record of you?
Don't tell anybody.
I won't
And
tell anybody. I just want to hear it myself.
so my brother had a red suit. He was 3 years older and thin. And I wanted to wear that red suit.
Uh-huh.
So that was also a motivation. And what happened is I lost so much weight so fast, I became anemic
Oh,
and,
that's like,
and didn't even really want to eat. So when Peggy and I met, I weighed 139, I think,
down from 200.
140 pounds. Yeah. So anyway, I've done a 40-day liquid fast because I saw in the Bible that Yeshua did this. I thought, well, I wonder if a plain old human being like myself can do this, because I wanted to try to do what he did. And I did it. I've done this twice, not bragging about myself. I hope nobody thinks that. But I did see that if you're motivated and focused, you can do more than you think you can do.
We learned that in the military.
Yeah, I bet you did. And we always love the IDF. We've supported the IDF for many years.
I'm sure that people learned that in the American military as well.
Well, I'm sure they do. So anyway, we need to get back into that a little bit more because we're overweight now. So we need to renew our fasting efforts.
But how does it work? I know that you live somewhere in Texas, I believe north of Houston.
We live east of the Rockies.
East of the Rockies.
Yeah.
Now, where in Israel, the way that healthcare works is that you are affiliated with a health fund, they call it. An HMO perhaps is a way to translate it in Israel into America. Health, what does HMO stand for? Health monitoring educate? No.
Maintenance,
Health something. Huh?
I'm not sure. I don't know what it stands for.
But it's a place where you go. There are doctors there and nurses, and they do everything you need. It's a micro hospital, and you go there mostly for your family doctor, for a checkup, or if something bothers you, you go there. And it doesn't cost you anything. It costs you 18 shekels, which is like $5 or something like that. You pay 10, 20, 30, I don't know how much a month for the insurance. But you can go to the doctor anytime you want. And now, because of Corona, they've moved their internet health services forward very quickly. And I don't even have to make an appointment with my doctor. I can just type it in, have an appointment with him, and I think it's even free. I don't even have to pay 18 shekels. So I talk to him, and he says, "Oh, I think you need this and this. Come on in," or he doesn't. It's much better. So anyway, I was in touch with him. I am in touch with him regarding my fasting, and he tells me what's good and what's not. So So how does it work by you? Do you have a doctor that you go to that you can be in touch with, that you can tell him, "Hey, how can I lose some of this weight?" and he can help you or something like that?
Well, you can, but in the American system of medicine, they're more educated and oriented towards giving you pills rather than helping you with lifestyle changes. So I think it's just more of reading for yourself and common sense and seeing what is normally acceptable, healthy behavior for you, and that's what you follow.
So, well, first of all, everybody knows that common sense is anything but common. And And if I wouldn't have had my doctor to say, Gidon, that's a good idea, then my wife wouldn't have let me do this.
Well, there's a little phrase I read somewhere. If it comes from a plant, eat it. If it's made in a plant, don't eat it.
I like that.
So we have a garden here. Of course, it's kind of everything is cooked because of the heat right now in our garden, but we try to eat just fruits and vegetables most of the time. We do get off track sometime and have a dainty, we might say, one of the king's dainties. But normally we try to eat just fruits and vegetables and grains and things like that. We don't drink soda pops and sugary drinks and things like that.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine. You're doing fine.
Yeah. So we've been doing that for a long time, but we haven't been able to exercise in a while like we would like. So our life has been too sedimentary, so we put on weight because of that. And it's not we haven't followed our own understanding. It's not good to eat at night. We've been eating too much at night for the last year or two. So shouldn't really eat after 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. So we sometimes you don't always live up to what you know you're supposed to be doing.
Especially when it has to do with food.
Yes.
Anyway, so what else is going on with you?
Well, we're helping people all the time as best we can, and we have our classes that our students teach, and we have our podcasts that we have, and we do monthly teachings at a church in the Houston area with PowerPoint pictures, and always writing something. I'm a writer, so I'm always writing.
How's your wife doing? Any news on her? Any good news?
Well, it's interesting. She was supposed to have a third injection. They haven't helped her, but just one more try this week. So yesterday we went into the city to register. You had to get registered for this procedure a few days ahead of time. And right after we registered, the hospital called the pain management doctor and said, because we have this spike in the COVID cases and people are coming in, we've canceled all electives. Wow. So anyone who has an issue that's not considered life-threatening is not able to get their procedures done right now. So we're just waiting to, we're in God's hands. Whether we live or die, we do it unto him. And we do, of course, realize that there's certain things that you can do as a human being to take care of yourself, of course. But beyond that, what you can't do for yourself, we trust God to take care of us one way or another. He is sovereign over our lives. He loves us. He has our best interests at heart. He sees things about ourselves that we can't see. Since he sees the end of the parade and the beginning of it at the same time with things we can't see, we trust him to orchestrate the events in our life for what he has his best for us.
Excellent.
This is how we live. We don't understand that very often, but it's a life of faith, not what you see, but what you understand in your heart.
Is your wife resting now?
Yes.
I'd love to speak with her once.
Believe it or not, we are going to make that happen. But when she's resting, she's not in pain, so I don't disturb her a little, give her a little break, you know.
When she's not resting, she is in pain.
When she's walking around. So she has to sit down most of the time.
I don't need her to walk around. I just want to say hi. But I hope that one day that'll work.
It is, I promise.
If some morning she has less pain, or if she comes and sits down next to you, then give me a call. You got my phone number, right? Give me a call and I'll quickly get on with her and we'll just say hi.
I've got your number. She would love to speak with you. She's heard me
That's
say
wonderful.
she's heard me say many wonderful things about you. All good.
Yes. Now, I don't have too much time to go. We've shortened our weeklies to just a half an hour. If that's okay with you, I think I told you that. Did I tell you about this project that we're launching? The Institute of Midrashic Studies of the New Testament.
I'm not sure. Refresh my memory.
So there's a gentleman, his name is Dr. John David Pitcher. And he's a friend of mine. We were introduced by a certain Christine Darg. I don't know if you've met her either. Christine Darg.
Know Christine real well.
Oh, that's good.
Of course.
So anyway, she introduced me to Dr. Pitcher. He's just an unbelievable guy. He was I think an orthopedic surgeon or something like that. Pediatric orthopedics. I don't know. Something that I couldn't do. But he's also very, very fascinated by the scriptures. And he's written himself a few dozen books. And mostly about this topic that he has discovered. Evidently, he says that the New Testament in Greek and the Septuagint in Greek have some connections that are like hidden in plain sight. Says that the words in the New Testament map to words in the Old Testament to show how the New Testament is actually a midrash on the Old Testament.
Well, that's exactly what it is.
Yes, but you see, it's one thing when the New Testament quotes a verse from the Old Testament, and then it sheds light on that verse in the Old Testament. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the epistles, for example. They are written in a style that lend itself to be parallel, not to the book of Isaiah necessarily, that so many of the or Psalms that the verses are quoted from. We're talking about things that are hidden. Anyway, this is the idea that he had, and I talked to him about it. I talked about it with him, and I told him, "Listen, you're getting on in years. I'm sure that he's already published, like I said, dozens of books about this. But I said, how many more books could you write about this? He said hundreds. So I said that what you need to do is not publish these books. What you need to do is teach scholars so that they can publish those books. In other words, teach them the method and let them do the research on their own.
Make disciples.
Exactly. So he finally agreed with me. And we are, Bezrat Hashem, going to be launching this institute. We're having a celebratory and explanatory launch in 2 or 3 weeks.
That's very good.
And the craziest thing is that I'm the executive director of this institute. Because I'm an Orthodox Jew. I'm not a believer in the traditional sense.
I understand.
I believe in what I believe. And I certainly don't relate a spiritual significance to the New Testament, but I am fascinated by what he's found. And I think that many Christians, many believers will be interested in that. So I want to help him. That's what powers me, to help others get what they want. I get what I want on my spare time. But if I can help Christians learn more about the Judaic aspects of their faith, then I'm all for it.
That's very important. The challenge, of course, is the Bible is a Middle Eastern book. And those of us who live in the West don't understand the culture of the Bible. So this is why I've spent so much of my life and written so many books trying to explain the culture of the Bible and putting Yeshua, Jesus, in the context of his culture. Because when we try to understand his words as a Western seminarian, you're going to misunderstand his words. And you can make decisions about your life that are important based on what you think Yeshua, Jesus, said, when actually it may be just the opposite.
Right.
So it's very important. And I think this is something that's in the heart of God for such a time as this.
I agree. And that's why I've been doing with Root Source for the past 8 or 9 years. And that has been mostly describing the what you call Middle Eastern, I'll call it Jewish culture, because of course we're talking about Jewish culture in the Middle East. We're not talking about Bedouin culture. Jesus himself was a Jew. So even though I admit that much of modern Judaism is modern, but so much of it, I really believe, is very, very closely chained in a chain of tradition back to the first century. So when I teach Judaism in Root Source, then I don't teach it in order to connect it to Jesus, but my students are just excited to figure it out by themselves. How, and usually they don't have to figure it out so much. Sometimes I even say, oh, wow, that sounds like Jesus to me. And they say, you bet it does.
Well, I agree with you completely. When I teach the Bible, I explain sometimes to the students, now, if I'm doing this properly, you should figure it out along the way without me having to tell you the answer.
That's right. That's right.
By the time I get to the end, you should already be there.
It's beautiful. So Zell, so that's what I've been doing with various topics. We're also very excited that we've launched a number of new teachers. I think we already launched another 5 teachers already, if not more.
Wow.
But my goal is that by the end of 2021 to add another 100 teachers.
Wow. Teaching the Judeo-Christianity connection?
Teaching Judaism, but to Christians who are open-minded enough to listen to those Jewish ideas and to apply them to their lives as Christians.
It's very good. I think that, as we've talked before, Jesus didn't teach anything new.
That's right. That's right.
He tried to clarify, in my mind, he tried to clarify the original intent that God had when he said whatever he said. And sometimes humans, it's not done on purpose, it's just being a human. We sometimes get so enamored with our own interpretations and traditions that we sort of pile that on top, and that becomes what we think is more important than what it was originally.
Yes, but we have to try to get to the source.
Yes.
We have to try to get to the root. We have to get to the root source, basically.
Yeah, I wrote a book called Root and Branches. So it's the same idea.
Very good.
Very important. Very important work, what you're doing, my friend.
Thank you very much. I'm going to hold on 1 second. Let me try 1 second here. I'm going to make sure that you're on my mailing list, and I'm going to send you an invitation to that project.
Well, I would be glad to receive it. I don't think we're going to be able to meet next week. The procedure that Peggy had, they're moving her to a different facility, and I think it's scheduled for next Tuesday. So we'll have to miss next Tuesday. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We don't have to do this every week. I see that you're not here, so let me add you over here 1 second.
Tell Christine hello for me next time you see
I
her.
will. I don't have to see her. It's enough that I send her an email or send her a WhatsApp or something like that.
Or send her an email that says Dr. Richard Booker in Texas said hello and that he loves you.
That's for sure. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sir. So I've started entering that. I'm sure I have your email address, and we will be in touch. May God bless you and your wife and your families.
Thank you, and same back to you. Have a
Bye-bye.
great day. Bye.
Shalom.